Hey guys, welcome back to another Division 2 video. So earlier in the week the devs revealed the new season and the new items that are going to go along with it, and as of posting this video the PTS is live on PC for this weekend, and the new gear set called Tipping Scales was one of the things that piqued my interest the most because it allows you to get up to 300% crit damage. So in this video I'll show you the gear set and share some of my thoughts on it. And also remember that this is the PTS, so everything you see can still be changed when it actually goes live. So with that, let's take a look. So here's one example of the build, and if you want 300% crit damage, you have to run the backpack and the chest. So first, the 2-piece, it gives you magazine size, 3-piece is LMG damage, and 4-piece is throttle control. So shooting builds stacks to a max of 50. Each stack provides 0.5% weapon handling and 2% crit damage. And then you lose 6 stacks per second while not shooting, and no stacks are lost when an enemy is suppressed. So without the chest or the backpack, you can have 100% crit damage, but the chest has sustainability, which gives an extra 25 stacks, and the backpack has Snowball, which increases your crit hit damage received per stack from 2 to 4. So 75 stacks times 4, that's the 300% crit damage. So that 300% crit damage is pretty cool, and even though the 3-piece bonus is LMG damage, you could still use this gear set with any weapon and get the 300% crit damage. Now, whether or not that's worth it to try and use a different weapon type, I don't know. I'd have to experiment with it a lot more. But you could do it. So again, the idea of 300% crit damage is pretty cool, but there's one thing that kind of killed the entire thing for me, and that is that you lose 6 stacks per second while not shooting. So if you'll notice, this says shooting build stacks, not landing shots, but shooting build stacks. So here I've got the chest and backpack on, so there's going to be a total of 75 stacks. And you can see right here just how long it takes to build to max stacks. It takes a little under 15 seconds. So I hit max stacks, and once you stop shooting, it takes about 13 seconds to completely lose all your stacks. So say you take some damage and you have to reload and use an armor kit, you can lose most, if not all of your damage by the time you can shoot again. And for frame of reference, at max stacks, this was hitting about 1.117 million to the head. And I was sitting at 58% crit chance. So that was with the blue screen, and this is the gear I was wearing. Pretty much weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage everywhere. Except for on the gloves, I went with an armor roll and a piece of bellstone for a little bit more toughness. So now let's switch to a slightly different variation. So here I got rid of the chest and the backpack, so now this gear set only goes up to 100% crit damage. And I swapped it out for a piece of Cheska with Obliterate and the Backbone, which is one piece of Lingmo and it has perfectly unstoppable force. So now I only have to build 50 stacks. And I can build to max stacks in about 10 seconds, but then also lose them all in about 8 seconds. So with this setup, once I reach my max damage output, you can see I hit about 1.127 to the head. So I'm hitting pretty close to the exact same damage, except I don't have 200% crit damage that instantly starts depleting the second I stop shooting. With Obliterate, you get 10 seconds before it goes away, but even if it does drop, that builds really fast. And then with Unstoppable Force, you get 15 seconds before it goes away. So here, I was just testing this out doing a control point, and I have Obliterate and Unstoppable Force, so I have a max of 50 stacks on the gear set. So right here, you can see I took a little too much damage. I had to use an armor kit, and I didn't even reload. And by the time I started shooting again, I already almost lost all of my stacks, but I was able to keep Obliterate and Unstoppable Force up. So I think it's a good start, and with a few tweaks, it could be pretty fun to use. And I did have a few ideas that involved using the Tinkerer mask, but unfortunately my mask didn't transfer over to the PTS, so I wasn't able to test that. So mainly I think they need to change the way you build or lose stacks. I think in terms of building stacks, the time needs to be cut in half, or maybe they could tie it to landing shots, kind of like Striker, and that way you could even influence how fast it stacks based on what weapons you choose. Or they need to cut the 6 stacks lost per second to maybe 2 or 3, or do something like Unstoppable Force, so when you reach max stacks you get like 15 seconds or whatever before you actually start losing stacks. And the way they've got it here, you can stop the loss of stacks by suppressing enemies, but in my testing doing a few control points, like the gameplay here, I cleared the whole control point plus other enemies that randomly walked in as well, and I suppressed 2 enemies the entire time. Then, especially when the fight got a little bit more chaotic towards the end, you'll notice there were times where I was struggling to maintain the throttle control a little bit, but I was able to keep Obliterate and Unstoppable Force up the whole time. So that's my 2 cents on the new gear set. What do you guys think of the new Tipping Scales gear set? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Reinforcements incoming. Detecting additional hostile contacts. We lost one. Let's see you run now. Detected. Took care of business here. Supply room access unlocked.